Audio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a different episode of Dance and Finance. Some of you may have already heard the news about the show. For those of you who haven't, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I am retiring from Dance and Finance. And what that means, just so you all know, is that I am leaving the show, but the show is still going to continue. Obviously, there's a lot that went into this, and I really want to kind of explore. I want to explore it and just just tell you my side of it. Okay. About, I don't know, a month or two ago, I approached myself and I said, would you like to do a podcast? And I said, that sounds great. And what would the podcast be about? We went back and forth, I was in the shower thinking about it, and I was in other places thinking about it. And eventually, we did some test episodes, and we got it all dialed in, and we came up with Dance and Finance. And we had just an all-star cast of characters for 8 amazing episodes. Most podcasts don't even get past 2 or 3 episodes. So to have done 8 is an amazing accomplishment in the realm of audio entertainment. Look, I'll be frank with you. A big part of this was negotiating the contract. I had signed an 8-episode deal with myself, and we started talking about it around episode 4, right? We're halfway through. Let's talk about it. And the engine's rolling and things are going well, but let's talk about it, right? When we hit 8 episodes, let's have had the conversation before, so we're not stuck. We're not stuck with nothing. And those conversations initially, it seemed like, hey, let's just keep going. I'm having fun. The team is having fun. And the guests seem to be enjoying it, right? This is a different kind of show. It's just, it's not your typical podcast where someone plays a character, interviews someone. It's not like that. It's a little bit different. And the talks went well at first. That's the real thing. We were excited. It seemed like this show could maybe go forever. But that's unrealistic. And I think it was honestly just under a little bit of the glow of naivete and the glow of success. And look, we have pulled in, I think, around over 200 listens total for all 8 episodes. And that's just, I don't know. They say if you can go out on top, go out on top. And I don't want to throw anyone underneath the bus, but when we started talking around episode 4 about the contract, once we reached episode 8, it seemed good, but it was an evolving conversation around episode 7. It was just clear that what they expected from me and how they were willing to compensate me, and just in generally the what people wanted out of the show just no longer was what I could provide, and it just didn't make any sense. And we explored. When I say we, I mean myself. We explored just canceling the show, and that just didn't feel right. It's timeless. It's it's become over the time. It's become an institution in my car, and it sounded strange at first to let it keep going without me, but they said there's people interested. There's some big names interested. I can tell you, I don't know, nothing's final, but I've heard Arsenio Hall, I've heard Robert De Niro, I've heard Jim Carrey. all these names have just been floated. They're floated just as potentially asking. Of course, that's probably a lot of no's, but the show's going to be in good hands. And I said, let's give it to someone young and hungry. And they said, what do you mean, like Oliver Twist? And I was like, no, not like that. I mean, like a young comedian who is hungry for a little bit of work. Cause I'm 29 and I've been doing this podcast for about 2 months, and it just takes a toll on you. And, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. These 8 episodes have really, there's a reason that I'm able to go out and feel good about it personally. So that's the situation. I'm leaving. The show's going to still keep going. There's going to be a bit of an interim period where there might be, I contractually I'm willing to help out a little bit, not to a certain point. I might help out with a few episodes here and there. But ultimately there's going to be a little bit of a break and the show will return. And it's been, hey, the show might not be exactly the same when it shows up again. Right. And I wouldn't expect it to be, I wouldn't want it to be, to take the show that I made and put someone else in it is only to the detriment of that person. That show should be a reflection of them. They should take it, they should strip it for parts. They should rework with it and create something fresh, new and exciting. I hope you listeners stick with the show. I think, or you at least give it a chance. Look, it would be unfair. A lot of you are going to say, without Kenny, this show is nothing. And I get that. And that's how I felt at first. But sometimes you forget that you are a great guitar player, but without the guitar, you just got fast little fingers. And yeah. So there's going to be changes. I don't know too much. All I can tell you is my side of it. So I just want to go back and really talk about what I've learned through this experience, which is that I came into this thinking dance and finance, is that too weird? Is that too strange a topic? And what I found out is that it was strange. It was specific. But as I learned at grad school, in a design class, they said the universal is discovered through the pursuit of the specific. And I think I'm putting in a lot of other words and misquoting it. But the concept being that when you talk about something really specific, it focuses you to get depth over breadth. And the lessons that you learn through exploring that depth ultimately yield more universal truths than the pursuit of breadth and universality, if that's how you say that word. So yeah, and it's been goof central. I re-listened to these episodes over these past 8. Oh my God, it has been the craziest 2 months of my life to go from absolutely nothing to absolutely the fucking top is crazy. And I don't recommend it if you can't handle the G-forces. And there's a reason I'm getting off this ride. At a certain point, once the G-forces get too hard, your skin starts to rip off your body and you're left with nothing but just a bloody powdered skeleton. And I don't want to be that skeleton. I want to be able to shake off the G-forces, get in a plane, head out to Eastern Idaho, and just kick back, relax, and play all the Killers albums back to back for 600 to 800 years. And that's my fantasy. We'll see how much of it I achieve. But yeah, I mean, when I think about the first show with Hannah or Jared, I don't remember, because the first pilot we did was with both Hannah and Jared. At that point, we were having 2 guests and 2 callers. Can you imagine that? 4 people per show, and the booking department, it was overwhelming. Can you imagine doing that? So we stripped it back down, thinking like, well, if the show's going to run for at least 8 episodes, or excuse me, the time we're thinking it might only run 4. We got to get one interview, one guest, and we just cranked through it. And it worked. It clicked. We blew those 8 episodes out of the water. There's not a single one that I look back on and say, no, that was horrible. Boo, bad. That sucked. I fucking no. 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 There's no episode like that. There's no episode that I said no to. There's no episode that I said no to. And I think that really speaks to the creative team, the talent of the guests, the talent of, nature, the fact that this area and our world breeds people like that. The fact that there's been enough Darwinism to hone the rough edges into the sharp comedic minds. Look, at this point, I'm rambling. I'm sailing off into the sunset, and I'm on a pretty big boat. And the sunset is quite warm. And the boat that I was on was in a nice harbor, but it's turning to winter, and it's time to go to warmer seas. Because at the end of those warmer seas is greener grass, and When you got that greener grass, it means that everything can have a silver lining. And if the whole thing's a silver lining, then you don't have it just a silver lining. You got a piece of silver, and silver is worth a lot on the market, I think. So yeah, look, thank you for the best 2 months of my entire. Thank you for a good 2 months. The show. Give the next iteration of the show a chance, please. You gotta, because I'm gonna do it. And if it doesn't go well, then I'll voice my concerns too. Hey, if you think you have power, don't forget that I can still, I still have a direct channel to the person making the show. So that's it. I think over the next few weeks, you might hear, I don't know. It's hard to say. There might be new test episodes of new formats, new hosts, people come in and out. And, if you're going to keep on dancing, you might as well be financing. My name's Kenny Gray, and this has been Dance and Finance with Kenny Gray. But this is not the end of Dance and Finance. The dancing and the investing, the money and the movement, they always keep on rolling. And the show will always keep on rolling. Even though I'm jumping off the train is going to grander stations. Hello, goodbye, I love you, I'm you, and you're me. And we're all together. John, George, Paul, Ringo, Mick, Keith, Charlie, and an always rotating bass player. And the Rolling Stones. Let's make sure we conserve the wildlife. Let's make sure we really talk to our parents about global warming. Let's get out and vote. And let's hope that when we wake up 50 years from now, we like what we've done. There are no regrets. No regrets. Go out on top, or go out on top so you don't hit the bottom. I love you all. And keep it keep it groovy.
Well, as my mother used to say, invest like no one's watching. Dance and finance.
I wanna dance and finance.
Dance and finance.
I wanna move, I wanna spend.
Dance and finance.
Just give me dance and finance.
Dance and finance, oh baby, dance and finance.
Warren Buffett, Martha Graham, Milton Friedman, Richard Cobb.
Show me the choreography.
This has been a production of Mess and Finesse, a comedy label based out of Somerville, Massachusetts. If you want to hear more of this program or shows like this, please send us an email at admin@messandfinesse.com. That's ADMIN at MESSANDFINESSE.com. And for more content, directory of programs, or information on live shows and comedy classes, please visit messandfinesse.com or follow us at Mess and Finesse on social media. Thank you for listening.
Mess and Finesse.
Audio.